right, guys, so now that we've talked about what a difference of squares is, let's look at how we actually factor, okay? So what I've done is over here on the left, I've listed some of our perfect squares. I've gone 1 through 15, okay? 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, and so on. What this does is it makes it really easy for me to find square roots. That means I can go all the way from 1 to 225. If it's a perfect square, I can find a square root without even having to touch a calculator. And a lot of these you probably already know, okay? So we'll kind of refer to that as we go through. Once we know that we have a difference of squares, okay, so the first thing I want to check for is that it is actually a difference. So this one is subtracting, so I know that that works. Now I have to look and find the square root of both of my terms, okay? The square root of a squared is just a. Okay, square root of a squared is a. Let me zoom in a little bit. I know it's still a little shaky. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, and I know y'all all know that one, but what I can do is I can look at my list of perfect squares over here and say, okay, here's 4. That means the square root is 2. So, yes, it's a difference. Yes, these are squares. So now I can just write it in factored form, and that's going to be a plus 2 times a minus 2. And that's it. That's all we have to do there for the factoring, okay, when it's a difference of squares. So let's try another one. Let's look at number 3. First of all, is it a difference? Yes, we're subtracting, so it's a difference. So I'm going to take the square root of both terms. Square root of 81 is 9. Okay. Square root of x squared is just x. So I have 9 plus x times 9 minus x. Okay. And if I multiplied those, if I distributed there or FOILed or whatever, it would give me, I would end up with 81 minus x squared. And that's how I could check and make sure that I factored it completely. Number 5, square root of k squared is k. Square root of 25 is 5, but what did I forget to check? This is k squared plus 25. We're doing a difference of squares, okay? So I shouldn't have even done the square rooting yet, because since this is a sum, this is not a difference of squares, because it would have to be subtracting. So that means that we can't factor it, and so we're going to write prime. This one is considered prime because it cannot be factored, because it is a binomial that is not a difference of squares. Okay, so let's do a few more. It is a difference, so I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of both terms. Now this one's a little bit different because the variable also has a coefficient. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the square root of 9, which is 3, the square root of b squared, which is b. So the square root of 9b squared is 3b. Okay. Square root of 100 is 10, so my answer is 3b plus 10 times 3b minus 10. Okay? And I'm really wanting to ask if you have any questions. I know you can't tell me that right this second, but definitely if you need to pause the video and send me an email or send me a message on Classroom, comment below, whatever you need to do, and we'll work through it and figure it out. Let's do 2 more on this page. Number 9, it is a difference because it's subtracting. I'm going to take the square root of 16, which is 4, and the square root of a squared, which is a, so there's my first square root. Square root of 121. So again, I'm going to use my list of perfect squares. Here's 121. It is a perfect square. Square root is 11. So factored form is 4a plus 11 times 4a minus 11. Okay, so you'll notice on all of these factors, they're exactly the same, except one's being added, one's being subtracted. Okay. Last one on the front, square root of 4h squared. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of h squared is h. And then over here I have square root of 25g squared. So that's going to be a 5g. So my factored form is 2h plus 5g times 2h minus 5g. Okay? So I'm going to stop here, and then we're going to do another video. There's a few problems on the back of this page that I want you to see, and then I'll talk about what you can do for practice and what your assignment is going to be for the week.